you might see these colors or see numbers over and over and over, and you're like, what does it mean? What does it mean? Well, it always applies to you in a unique way. So there's two aspects of the intuition. Okay, so this is one of the questions I'm going to answer. I promised D, and it's about seeing numbers. See numbers over and over, right? And so 1 and 4, or maybe you guys see 1 1s or 1 1 1s or 12 12s or 3 3 3s or all these different things. Repeated numbers are the ones we notice the most. 1 1 1 we notice the most. It's not the most common, but we notice it. And the reason that we notice it is that it's not common. So that's the cool part, is that we go, you see 1 1 1 over and over, or 1 4 4, or whatever it is, and it gets your attention, right? It gets your attention. Whoops, sorry. And you start to go, oh, wow, I wonder what that is. I wonder if that's a message. I wonder what's going on. So if you actually looked up how often you saw other numbers or random numbers, it's probably more often. But numbers aren't good or bad naturally. They're neutral energy, but they can be. If you believe the number 5 is bad and it means, something evil, then that's a belief. That's an energy pattern that has been embedded in you, that you have accepted, and it is part of the protocol. It is part of the software. It's part of the rules by which your reality, your world is structured. So our beliefs, it's important to know what they are and to change them. Our feelings, our emotions, the meaning that we give things. So if you have 13 is an unlucky number, I invite you to change it. My birthday is on the 13th, and I felt very bad as a child growing up in the US until I was 9, and I moved to Europe and I went to Belgium, where 13 is a lucky number. And it made me feel really good, right? It made me feel fantastic that, wow, I have a lucky number. I'm lucky. And that shift, and enough people around me believing it as a young girl, I shifted that for myself completely. And now I embody it. It's a strengthening thing for me. But is the number 13 good or bad in any way? No. Okay, so you just want to be aware that if it's speaking to you, if it's getting your attention, it's communication, and anything that's communication. So numbers are communication. Numbers are a form of language. Numbers is what computers, the Matrix would show these numbers coming. Little ones and zeros are the way, I don't know if it's still that way, it's the way that a lot of data was formatted. And so their music is a language. Vibration, sound is a language. If you've ever seen, I forget how you say it, Didiomatic or something, if they run a frequency, like a tone, through a drum or a vat of water, a drum with sand on it, just be sand everywhere in a big pile, the vibration, the sand will change while you watch it and form a sacred geometrical shape that matches the signature of that vibration. So there's a way to express information in sound, in taste, in color, in frequency, okay? So you might hear and you watch one of these videos and you see the sand or the water will do the same thing, form into an organized, intelligent, co-creative pattern. It might form some kind of sacred geometrical pattern or some form of crystal. And you've seen this with Dr. Emoto's work, right? He froze water, put intention and energy into the water from hate to love and everything in between. And then he froze it and was able to slice it and look at its cellular structure. And it went from hate and things being this blob, like misshapen and not organized, not formed, not formatted or designed, right, with intention. And they were beautiful. They would look like snowflakes, right? And then the ugly ones looked like blobs. And it was stunning, and they were all different. So love versus gratitude versus appreciation versus whatever. They all had a different signature. That means that their frequency is different. So it's an information Well, all you knew was that you were feeling love. But now all of a sudden you got to see it represented in a shape that your eyes could perceive in that crystal. So a pattern, I often have some sacred geometry hanging behind me, like a Sri Yantra. And that is a visual representation of a frequency, a vibration. The vibration is what heals your vibration. If you're off of your ideal vibration, you get sick, maybe physically, maybe mentally unclear or overwhelmed or drained of energy, or all the things that we're familiar with. All those are energy that has been is out of alignment for what's optimal for us. So healing is realignment. Healing is just returning to what I call your soul signature frequency, or as close to it as you can get as you raise your vibration. So seeing 111 and 4 ones and so on, you want to think about what it means for you. So 1, of course, has a lot of deep meaning. 1 is everything. 1 and 1 is you and source. It's also pillars. It's also a doorway or a portal. It's also 11, which is a master number, and that means different things. And 1111 means different things. And then the 4 comes in and has different meanings as well. But I find that when I work now, after decades of learning and practicing and teaching and learning more things and just doing a lot of sessions and a lot of classes and channeling a lot of information about this stuff, is that intuition really isn't the best word to describe what this is. This is like a mystery school, right? This is like a spiritual or soul awakening. This is like finding your purpose or your design, or realizing who you really are, or taking off a mask and suddenly seeing, what you really are underneath, and not really understanding what you're doing, why you're here, how you work with these informations. So more people are seeing the multiple numbers right now. It's actually tracked, and people are seeing them more and more because we're raising our frequency and we're becoming more aware. What does that mean? We're moving up the scale I just showed you. So you might be. I suggest you get it. I like to print it and have it laminated, or have it available on my phone. And because you can use it to, if you test yourself every day, where am I? You'll start to notice, okay, let's say you're at depression or indifference, and you're like, I don't want to be there. And that kind of bums you out. So you feel a resistance to do it or to hear the truth. But this isn't about trying to fake it. This is about really wanting to know where your vibration is. So the 1s and the 4s are forming a gateway for you. This is information about gateways being possible portals of possibility or potential, specifically for you, Dee. That's what this is coming through to me right now. And for you to just pay attention. So it may not be the meaning of the number. It may be, hey, and you look up, like you hear it, you're like, you pay attention. So what I truly recommend for everybody is when you get this a number again and it makes you pause, as soon as possible, be quiet, sit, breathe, listen, feel yourself opening your senses and listening. Be ready to receive. So there's a difference between following inner guidance without being attached to what it means, not understanding it fully, and getting past doubt. Then you really understand what the intuitive guidance is. You don't know what it might mean. Like I'll be like, I feel like we're meant to go here and I don't know why, right? But I listen to that and I take the next step. So all of this is about you awakening. Everybody is awakening. And the more you take it into your own hands, the more that you have a possibility to grow into the way that you are designed to be here. Now, we have to be aware that we're going through a time right now when there's less tolerance there's restriction, there's judgment, there's prejudice around the greater good. You must do this, you must do this. Are you this? Are you that? Are you this? And you have to get out of that. Everybody has to separate from that treadmill, judging others about their decisions of how they're going to do things right now, judging, just being in fear and trying to force things on everybody because it's the best for everyone. There's nothing wrong with doing things for the greater good, but we have to respect individuality as well. And so you aren't going to grow your intuitive gifts. You aren't going to know more. Who am I? What am I meant to do? Should I move? Should I wait? Should I do this thing that seems logical, or should I do something that seems completely illogical and has no plan? That's typically what the answer is right now, by the way. And so communication, just let it get your attention. Numbers, seeing the same show on the TV over and over and over. I've shared before was how I got into real estate investing, which was a huge part of my life. I did it for somewhere around 8 to 10 years, and it was incredible. It was one of the most challenging and powerful spiritual growth experiences, was doing real estate investing and buying property and finding ways to do it, and rehab and sell and rent and just deal with all those elements pushed me so far out of my comfort zone that I changed who I was. So I went every night into the bedroom where my ex now was sleeping, and he liked to go to bed with the TV on. I didn't even like TV at all. So I'd be in another part of the house doing my thing. I stay up late, I work, and he goes to bed early. So I would go in and out of the bedroom at least once during the night to get something while he's sleeping and the TV's on. And I went 7 nights in a row at different times of the night and saw the same infomercial. And I was taught to laugh at infomercials. Don't trust them. They're stupid. They're spoof. They're a scam. And so I stopped, and it was like, oh, you can be rich and have yachts and buy real estate and blah, blah, blah. And I looked at it and I laughed. And the next night I came in and it was on again, but it was at a different part. And so I watched a little bit, and then I laughed and I left the room. 7 nights in a row. By the time I had finished those 7 nights, I had seen almost the whole thing, because they kept having me come into the room at a different time during it. So I'd get a chunk and then I'd get a chunk. And what it was doing was knocking a hole in my very thick skull, my very thick barrier to listening, because I was trying to do this. It never occurred to me. It wasn't one of these, oh, I always wanted to do real estate. I had no clue I'd want to do it. Why would I want to do it? Nothing. It was not something, but it was so divinely guided. By the time it had gone seed, knock, knock, knock. Oh, so if you're seeing something repeated over and over, maybe you're not listening. Maybe there's a message coming through in bits and pieces. Maybe you need to stop in that moment and listen. Maybe you need to get a piece of paper and be ready to take notes, like the old-fashioned secretary, like, yes, what would you like me to write down, right? Whatever way you like to receive, and spend time every day. Then you're going to fine tune. So I discovered there's another aspect to this. We have receivers or receptors, they're called in medicine or science, when they describe different nerves. Different nerves have receptors on the end, or different, there's different receptors in different systems of the body. You have this in your subtle bodies as well. Your subtle bodies are your chakras. These bring energy into the glands and into different parts of your body, and this is what animates your body. These are surrounded with your physical etheric body, your auric body, which is an electromagnetic field right here. Like, you can really feel it, right? Zzz, that's what your aura is. It's the electromagnetic field that comes off of your physical body, so it's often called the physical etheric body. And then there's your emotional body. And this is all around you, in every dimension, 360 spherical consciousness, okay? And then there's your mental body, all right? And these are slightly less dense as you move out. So when you come into your body, It's like they're passing information down through levels to the lowest depths, and you're at the bottom of the ocean and you can't really hear anything clearly. It's like, right? I think I heard something. I think I had a dream last night. I think I should buy some purple flowers. I think I should move. I don't know why, right? This is how we've been receiving information for a very long time on the planet. There was a time on the planet when the energy was very clear, when we were in a place where we are now, in the sense that we were connected, but we went far away and got very separated from the fact that there more of the universe, more of reality are these layers of subtle bodies and subtle energies all around us. So depth and depth and depth and depth. So communication, repetitive communication, it's definitely guidance. It's definitely trying to get your attention. If it's a time of the day, like I went through a phase where I woke up at 2:22 or 3:33 or 4:44 for years. And I was in New Mexico and I was working with a channel and I was learning to meditate and I was learning to do animal communication and healing, and I was learning to contact my angels. I was like a super overload self-help junkie, right? Like I was doing it all, and which was great. It was just that kind of time, like really, and you have experiences based on what you're open to. What you end up receiving communication-wise is something that you're able to receive, because maybe there's a crack in your belief system over here that maybe you're this multidimensional being, or maybe you're good enough to receive information. And so our beliefs, our thoughts, our fears, our karmic knots, our contracts, our agreements, these are lots of the things I see in the readings and the sessions I do, and we clear and cleanse and find pathways to complete them and everything, so that you can become clearer. So overall, your intention is to be a clear and open channel for your highest good, and for that which is optimal for you at this time, for me at this time. So I want you to say that with me right now. Take a deep breath in and say, I'm ready and willing to be fully present here, a clear and open channel for my highest good. Send that intention, that command, that request out with your breath. See and feel it. You might feel it in the body or the knees. You might feel it in your aura or your mind. And take another deep breath in. I am open and receptive to receive easily and understand in the optimal way for me at this time. So quiet. After you focus your question, your intention, put it into the breath and let it go. And then be the silent, excellent receiver in the center. Now I want everyone to tune into this infinity healing chamber, the golden and silver cone of light above and below. Wrapped in the all-seeing eye, surrounded by the Akashic Ascension spheres, is a sphere of white light made from the flower of life. And as you tune in and accept that you are ready and willing and open and receptive to this clear communication with your highest good, that you're ready to receive today the guidance, the healing, the understanding, the information, whatever it is, if you're conscious or not, that you trust and stay open to receive with gracious gratitude. Information is going to come to you. It's going to come to you in many forms. It's going to come to you in many ways. You may have visions, sensations, feelings, tears, emotions, thoughts, yearnings. Doesn't matter, and it doesn't have to come right now. I am open and receptive and graciously grateful for that I have already received everything that is optimal for me at this time. I've already received, so you're putting yourself into the expanded you, the next moment. You're becoming in that gracious flow. So everyone here, think about or ask for the guidance to come to you right now of a time when numbers, repeated numbers, either in the connection like 1111 or seeing it repeatedly or waking up at the same time every night like I did for years. If you don't have a number experience, it could be something else, something that repeatedly has come up. And ask right now to understand and receive a new level of information of what that means or meant. So, often called angel numbers, we have an angelic presence here with the 1111. And this is a beautiful symbol of the expanded you and I. It is you as the one connected to the one source. And you and source connected to all potential and all creation. So this is a synergy. So this in particular, you can call in these frequencies, you can feel them like pillars of light around you. And if you get any repetition of 1 and 1, it's you and source. You and source are connecting in a new way. You are awakening to a new way of receiving your guidance or your prosperity or your energy, whatever it is you most need from the infinite field. It's present for you. Open and be aware of it.